All right. So, Amy, I know she's not here, but she always picks these times of asking me to do Devo when I'm really been struggling with something. But I always know, like, no matter what's going on, I have to say yes. So, be very vulnerable here. I've really kind of been struggling with my walk for a little while, and being in the Word like I should be. So I was kind of like, when she asked me, I was like, oh, well, what do I have to give to people right now? Because I'm feeling really empty. So I went to my notebook where I have actually some chapters written for a book that I've been working on. And I just kind of opened it up, and it went to this chapter that I'd written. And actually, the time that I wrote this, I was actually very much in the Word, reading, and I was reading some really good devotionals. And so it didn't apply to me at the time, but I felt led to write about what I had kind of been reading. And it's part of it was saying, I'm just going to kind of go through a little bit of it. It said, at the time when I was reading it, even though it wasn't relevant, it kind of overwhelmed me with, you sometimes get like that aha moment when you're reading something in the Bible or in a devotional, and it's kind of like getting smacked in the face or sometimes the Spirit. And at the time I was doing a lot of this reading, my Spirit kept saying, yes, yes, yes. And I had a lot of writing happening, and I had a lot of things going on. And the devotional I was reading was talking about emptiness. And this feeling inside when you try to fill it with things. And you kind of get that never-ending thought of, if I just had this, if this was just going on, I would be happy. My life would be so much better. Obviously, this sounds familiar. But you find as time goes on, no matter how much you are trying to fill it with anything else, you're not feeling fulfilled. And the emptiness just continues to be there, and you continue to not do the right thing, not go the right way, and it's going through the motions, and you're never ultimately satisfied. And it's only when you kneel and open your heart and completely surrender yourself to Jesus. For there is no other possession, worldly or not, that can fill the hole, for it is only shaped for him. Right. So when you're kind of there, and you're walking down, and I'm going to say a path, that's not the right path. In Proverbs 14:12, it says, there is a path before each person that seems right, but it ends in death. And I noticed this. So I had Googled emptiness. What are verses on emptiness? And this was one of them. And God did create us with an emptiness that only He can fill. Those who know God can testify that to His all-sufficiency. But whatever negative you allow in your life, when you're not filling that emptiness with Him, whatever negative you allow in your life, when you stay on that path like that, when you allow the emptiness to stay, you're not filling it with the right things, it's the devil's path that you're following. And it will lead in death when you're not following the path that God has laid out for you. And then in Luke 11:24, it says, when an evil spirit leaves a person, it goes into the desert searching for rest. But when it finds none, it says, I will return to the person I came from. So it returns and finds its former home all swept and in order. When I found this one, I thought about the fact that I had a time before when I was kind of going through an emptiness, and then I got back in the Word. And that's when you're empty and you're allowing that evilness to kind of live in you, to drag you to things that you shouldn't be, or allowing you to fill yourself with things that aren't of God. And then you get where you're supposed to, and you're filling yourself, and you're filling your spirit with the right thing. Then you've cleaned your house, right? But then you get dry again, or you step off that path and you start falling down the wrong path. Well, all of a sudden, He can come back, and He has that nice, clean house to go in and destroy again. So I find it interesting that these were the two passages that were the first thing to come up when you Googled about emptiness within the Word. So, and then it says, so I had another notebook I was using, and it was also to write, and it was also about feeling lost, broken, and out of sync. And I'd open it up, and I said, so kind of seeing a theme here of things that I was writing about when it wasn't relevant. And then when I'm trying to find something to write, those are the two pages that open up to without even looking. And obviously my spirit and God knows where I'm at and how I'm feeling. And that I know that I'm not the only one who's ever been here at some point. And you ever wonder that, if you're good enough, ways to talk yourself out of your walk. I'm not good enough. I'm too broken. Look at all those people who seem to have favor with him. They're deserving. They must be favor. But then I have to remind myself that none of us are actually worthy. That's where God's grace and salvation comes in. And me coming to him in my brokenness is enough. In my mess of a walk, I am enough. When we believe he is who he says he is, God doesn't need perfect. He doesn't need us to have our lives together. He just wants us to come to him. So in Isaiah 55, I'm sure everybody knows this. If anyone is thirsty, come and drink, even if you have no money. Come take your choice of wine or milk. It is all free. Why spend your money on food that does not give you strength? Why pay for food that does you no good? Listen to me, and you will eat what is good. You will enjoy the finest food. And then, of course, Matthew 11:28. Come to me, all who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I am humble and gentle of heart, and you will find rest for your soul. For my yoke is easy to bear, and the burden I give you is light. So, just remember, you're never alone, and God is what you need.